Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today, Tuesday morning, July 28th, 2020. It's the man they call Meathead, and hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for, putting us on your car, putting us in your ears, putting us on, in the background while you're doing whatever you're doing every Tuesday morning, every, Monday through Friday, and making sure you're listening to the PWR Today broadcast. Tuesday morning, as per the usual, we got Dave Herro here. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, man. How are you?
I've got some caffeine in me. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk a little wrestling, a little Raw.
You sound fired. Dude, I had a nightmare last night. I dreamt that WWE had another stupid finish to a title match.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, just like Nightmare on Elm Street, Dave, they're actually true.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Hey, you did hear that the original actor from Nightmare on Elm Street had passed away over the weekend, right? The cop or the father, I think it was.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. I never watched those. I'm not a horror movie guy. I don't watch those kind.
Me neither. But I mean, you and I are the same age, and those movies were hot. They were the thing at that time.
Right. Yeah, but so was Porky's. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on.
Was awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Porky's 2 the next day. I mean, I was big on Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. Yeah, those were my movies.
I bet you were. You were.
And then Blame It on Rio.
Hey, how about Tom Hanks, man? He's living in Greece right now. I wonder what he's
an official citizen in Greece.
Yeah. What do you think he's running away from?
Well, he already had coronavirus, so.
Yeah. It should be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, I mean, he told me he was going to leave the country before when Trump got elected, so.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Gotcha. And then Giselle Maxwell got arrested.
Say it again.
I'm sorry?
Say it again. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said it, and then Giselle Maxwell got arrested. So God knows what's going on right now. Everything's crazy in Hollywood. Who would want to go to Greece? Their economy is terrible.
The economy is terrible, and it wasn't the government stealing from them. I mean, not that that's what you tuned in this morning to listen to, but.
Hey, but you know what? We are a worldly wrestling talk show. We talk about everything.
Yeah, and we got all the food talk out from last week. We're good. We're done on the food talk.
Yes. So let's talk about Raw before people get frustrated with us.
All right. So you and I came up with a thing last week where I'm just going to run down the entire show because we could go 20 minutes on any one of these segments, and then we'll just talk about what we talk about, all right? Because there are people that tune in, they want to hear the results. Show opened up with a promo from Randy Orton, and he wants Drew at SummerSlam. Nia Jax walked out as Randy's leaving, and she started to talk about how she's been screwed over by refs. And here comes Shayna Baszler. They go at it to set up a match later, a triple threat tag team match for the number one contenderships. The winners were Andrade and Garza, the new number one contenders. Nia and Shayna Baszler had a doubled countout. They looked like they had some serious business. Seth Rollins with a promo, and he says he knows that Dominic's going to come out. And, of course, your guy again, Aleister Black, got beat up. The Hurt Business with MVP Shelton Benjamin. Real quick, Shelton Benjamin, how did you not tweet about this last night, Dave? Did you see the shirt he had on?
I did. He was wearing the collar and elbow, the Shad Gaspard shirt.
Yes, sir.
Very cool.
Matter of fact, that was my second ever collar and elbow shirt. So, I mean, it's one of my favorite shirts. It's in the daily rotation. Mustafa takes on Bobby Lashley. I take issue with Mustafa calling those guys meatheads like it's an insult. Sasha and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, with Asuka losing the belt to Sasha because of that amazing finish that Dave's going to talk about.
Yeah.
Murphy and Humberto Carrillo. Murphy with a big win. And then
it's not Humberto Del Rio?
It's Carrillo. And then the main event, which I thought was supposed to be for SummerSlam. I swear we were told that last week. Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew wins, RKO'd at the end by Randy Orton. All right, Dave, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Humberto, how he was channeling his inner El Matador Tito Santana gear last night.
Yeah, I liked it. He looked good. He had a fire.
He did. I was like, oh yeah, he is again. You know what I mean? He hasn't done much back and forth. He's just still not, registering with me. Aleister Black once again runs out to save a Mysterio. This time it is Dominic.
Yeah.
Put him on the payroll as the bodyguard. It's like, come on. 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row, or at least Aleister AB, walk out with them from now on, because they keep getting beat up, and then you got to run out there to try to make the save, and you get jumped. So
right, how are you not aware after week 6? In the background.
Aleister Black be the badass that he is. Just let him, take the leash off. Just let him go. So, because I honestly believe if you let Aleister Black be the Aleister Black that was in NXT, he gets over strong on Raw and becomes a bigger star. Not even
getting his entrance anymore, which is a huge part of what he is.
Well, but the problem with that is the entrance is so long. By the time he comes up from the coffin, the heels could bail. You know what I mean? So,
Dave,
it's a time thing.
We have a 3-hour Raw show. I mean, there's something else more pressing to put on the air.
Well, but hold on. If you're sitting down there beating up little Dominic, and all of a sudden you hear Aleister Black's music, and then well, shit, Well,
he's not going to get his entrance for a non-match.
I got 27 seconds till he comes up from the coffin. I can probably get 4 or 5 more punches and then bail and, scoot out the back door. So
you see the coffin going, I could still kick. Okay, the coffin's halfway. No, he's not going to get that for a run-in.
Exactly, yes.
But no, he had a match last week, and he still didn't get his entrance.
Right. Yeah, it's weird, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I watched this show Monday nights, and there's a few things I liked last night. I thought they did some things better than what they've done in the past. I loved Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I think that is going to be money because it's 2 people that the fans don't care for. It's 2 people that are legit, badasses. You have the strength and power of Nia Jax and then the killer instinct of Shayna Baszler. It reminds me of back in the 80s when they were thinking about turning Jake the Snake Roberts babyface. And they put him in a program when Randy Savage was the heel Intercontinental Champion. And it's like it was 2 heels at that, at that time, and they're trying to see who the fans would get behind more.
Yeah.
Let those 2 fight. I mean, it's such a nice breath of fresh air change up from what we're currently seeing with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much song and dance with the girls right now, I think.
Well, the girls basically is Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Sasha and Bayley, and then you throw the Iconics in there. Even Ruby Riott in Bianca Belair. It's like, it's kind of hokey pokey cheesy.
Yeah.
But then when you have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler shit wanting to kill each other, to me that was money. That was awesome. That's what I want to see. I've been a Nia Jax fan for a while. That's no secret. And Shayna Baszler has grown on me. But if they can bring fighting back into the sports entertainment part of pro wrestling, I'm all for that.
Yeah, and that's on the women's side too, because fighting hasn't been on the women's side for a while.
Right.
So, I think that the one thing I really pull out of there, yes, we know that Nia has the size and the strength. Yes, we know that Shayna Baszler has the MMA background and the, just the instinct. But you know what I really saw from Shayna specifically, and this is not me being the fan anymore. This is me being the analyst watching this. She really sold for Nia, and I really enjoyed it because it made it look right. It made it look real good.
She had to. I mean, Nia Jax is, I want to say, close to double her size.
Yeah.
She better sell for her.
Right. No, it looked great. Again,
if Hogan can sell for Andre, Shayna Baszler can sell for Nia Jax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how business is supposed to be. So, again, we talked about it last week, and I was, getting cold sweats thinking about it. But the Drew McIntyre Dolph Ziggler match was last night, and it's setting up Randy Orton for Drew McIntyre. This now, to me, seems like a program that I don't know who's going to win. I mean, on the one side, as the fan who's watching it thinks, you know what, Randy Orton should probably blow through Drew McIntyre. However, on the business side, Drew McIntyre's had a chance to run with it since WrestleMania, but he hasn't had a chance to do it in front of fans. So do you take it from him now and let Randy be the man on the show? But who can touch Randy right now? Or do you have Randy lose?
No one can touch him. No one can touch Randy right now. He is the best thing going in all of pro wrestling. And you know what? He doesn't have to run through Drew McIntyre. I honestly believe they're going to have a competitive match. I mean, I'm not saying Savage and Steamboat type quality, but it's going to be close to being that good because both guys are old school guys that have some size to them that can tell stories, and Randy's a great storyteller. And there's going to be heat because, hey, Randy's an asshole. And now you have reawakened the Scottish psychopath. So now you have a Viper and a psychopath in the main event of SummerSlam. And you know what? They need to do good business because Randy can leave the champion, but also elevate Drew McIntyre. Because let's face it, right now, all the money is in Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And they want to build back to Randy Orton versus Edge. And
I was going to say, he's not done with Edge.
No, not at all. Can you imagine Edge versus Randy Orton for the championship at Royal Rumble?
I would think almost Survivor Series, wouldn't you?
Edge won't be back by then.
Edge was only supposed to be out a few months. It's Charlotte that was out for 6 months.
I thought Edge was out like 6-7 months.
No, less than that.
Well, I don't know. I have a hunch it'll be at the Rumble. And you know what? But Drew McIntyre is going to become a bigger star because of it, and then he'll eventually get all of his heat back because hopefully the fans will be allowed in the shows as long as they don't follow baseball's protocol. And we should be good.
That's what we talked about. We talked about that about a month ago, Dave. We said, Vince is going to watch and see what the Major League Baseball and what the NBA does and what NHL does. And so far, we had opening weekend of baseball, and there's no fans there.
No, and you know what? They're hinting and teasing that SummerSlam could be on a cruise ship, on a boat. Can you imagine that? That's a different dynamic.
AEW did it on the Jericho Cruise.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's out of this world. I mean, because it was a good show. I mean, when they did the Jericho Cruise, I mean, Nitro was done at the club down in Panama City Beach, so it'd be the same looking show, really.
Yeah, well, except you'd be on a big boat. I mean, right now, Florida is such a disaster for COVID-19. Who knows what's going to happen down there? And you got to believe that they have option B, C, and D in place for SummerSlam.
Yeah, because option A is still Performance Center.
It is, yeah. But, I'm hoping that it's not there. I'm hoping that they do something different because it's SummerSlam. It's like, give it a different feel. Give it a different look.
Yeah, well, excuse me. I want to take issue with Mustafa. Man, I used to like him, but he insulted the Hurt Business by calling him a bunch of meatheads. Like it's an insult.
It is. I mean, who wants to be a meathead? Let's be honest. You're the only guy.
I want to be a meathead.
You're the only one.
And I'm an acceptable meathead. I mean, I understand Carlito used to call Chris Masters a meathead all the time, but he meant it with love. I really felt like he meant it with love.
Oh, absolutely they did. Yeah, but let's talk about Mustafa Ali. He gets the big ballyho pop last week. The big, oh my gosh, he's back to save the world. And then he taps out to Bobby Lashley this week.
Yep.
It's like, well, that was an uneventful return. It's like, why even bother bringing him back in that position for the three guys to stand tall last week to just have him tap out this week? And where was Ricochet and Cedric? They weren't even there to help. So.
Nope. Well, they had just had a match, obviously.
But still, it's like, he's tapping his ass out right there. Run down to help him.
What were your thoughts on the triple threat tag team match with Andrade and Garza actually pulling out and finally being on the same page with Zelina?
Yeah, I think that's great. Andrade and Garza, they're my favorite tag team right now because they're so good. They have potential to be like the Midnight Express. Any incarnation you want. They're both very smooth in the ring. They have Zelina Vega, who is an annoying manager that gets involved, that is scrappy. She's not afraid to bump, much like Jim Cornette. And, just let them run with it for a little while. I mean, the Street Profits are great, but I think they've run their course for right now. I think that Andrade and Garza are the tag team that needs to have the gold.
That would be fantastic for the fantasy team they call Meatheads because while that'd be a title loss, it'd be a title win for me. So it'd be like a wash.
You have Andrade?
No, I got Garza.
Oh, and I have Andrade.
So we'd both win. Win-win.
Yeah. See? There you go.
There you go. Nothing wrong
Don't
with
you have
that
Drew
at all.
McIntyre also?
I have Drew McIntyre.
So you're gonna lose you're gonna lose points then at SummerSlam.
And my champion lost her belt tonight, but I mean she'll win it back at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Jeez, man, you're losing points right now.
I'm not losing points. I'm losing belts.
Oh, no, you're going to be losing points and belts because Drew McIntyre is going to be putting over Randy Orton.
Probably.
At SummerSlam, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who has Randy Orton? You have Randy Orton?
Damien.
Oh, jeez. Of course he is.
He's not last anymore.
I know. But still. Amazing.
Hey, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, That's what I've been getting told the last few weeks.
You keep saying that. But it's always good to have a nice lead, then you can marathon towards the end.
That's exactly what it is. And that's what I've been doing. So we'll see. Maybe one of them accidentally gets injured because I'm not going to sit on the sidelines and let my team have a bunch of people not participating. I'll be
like me with Roman Reigns not doing nothing. Yeah.
Like you, like Drew, who's got Charlotte and Edge doing nothing.
Well, but that's Drew. He doesn't pay attention to product. So
I feel like that phrase has been said around this very program for a very long
time. Maybe or maybe not. I don't remember. I'm sure it has been.
All right, so we're done with the Raw, but I wanted to ask you, how do you feel that it seems the Jeff Hardy Sheamus thing is over?
Thank God, I'm relieved. I thought both guys looked great. I thought both guys had a very physical match. I thought it was a good match. They got the business across they had to. They established Jeff Hardy has defeated his demons again. And I look forward to them putting Jeff into a better position. And I hope that they reward Sheamus for doing such a great job in the program also.
Sheamus looked good. You forget about it.
Guys are elevated.
I was going to say, you forget about it with Sheamus, not really being featured as much. But Sheamus is pretty cut still. I mean, he looks good for his age.
Looks like $1 million.
He does look like $1 million. And Jeff Hardy looks like Peter Criss from the band Kiss.
Jeff Hardy looks pretty awesome also right now. Looks solid. Yeah.
His last paint job, the one that he awoke into at the end of the match, it looked like Peter Criss, the cat. Yeah. I found it interesting that he said my brother had to delete his WWE career. I thought that was very interesting.
Well, he's not lying. People love that kind of stuff.
They love it, but that's not WWE business. Just like, again, I was kind of shocked last night that they allowed Shelton to come out with the Shad t-shirt on.
Yeah, but how can they say no to that? He was one of their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I was very happy. And a nice little tribute last night as well to Reach. I know Damien's...
yes.
Damien was a big Regis fan.
He was, and he took it hard over the weekend,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Dave, that's really all we've got. I mean,
that's
coming up during...
That's all we need for Raw right now. That's all we need.
That's all we need, We need some consistency, some continuity is what we need.
Let's just agree that Randy Orton is the best professional wrestler on the planet right now. Let's agree that Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are going to have a hell of a program. Let's agree that when it comes to Bayley and Sasha, how they book the finishes of their matches absolutely sucks. And they didn't do a very good job of reestablishing Mustafa Ali as a upper mid-card player. So.
I'm with you, except for the Sasha and Bayley stuff. I think they're still gold on TV. However, their endings were terrible.
The finishes are terrible. I don't care how good they are on TV. You always remember the finish. And these are unremarkable finishes you don't want to remember because they're that bad.
Well, let's clean it up at SummerSlam. Let's get that belt back.
God, I hope so. Please.
Perfect. All right. Well, Dave, thank you for stopping by. Hey, folks, everybody that's listening, again, we appreciate you guys stopping by. I know we've got a lot of people from the old days of when we were doing the show and new people that are listening. So make sure you're passing the word along, liking, subscribing. And, we got a lot of great content coming up this week as well. Make sure you're tuning in tomorrow morning when we talk to Matthew Thomas, and we'll get ready for AEW and NXT on USA and TNT. So for Dave Herro, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.